Welcome to the Canes game review for the 4-1 win over the Montreal Canadiens in Game 3 of the season. This one's going to be a bit short because I was actually in class for pretty much the first two periods of this game, so I actually haven't seen the first two periods. I basically listened to a radio broadcast on the way home while I was driving and saw the third period live. So we're going to cover a lot about the third period. I'm going to just kind of address the goals, address the thing that happened in the first period that I went back and watched. And that'll be about it for this one. I'll cover a little bit of happened in the third period, but I want to make this one a quick one. And we'll maybe do a little bit of a preview for the Columbus game. Kicking this one off, Anderson in the net against Jake Allen, who's been pretty good for the Montreal Canadiens. Their big issue coming into this game has been goal scoring, and it was probably still an issue even in this game. There won't be any reviews for the players in this game just because I didn't see enough of the game to actually make judgment calls on that. Just starting it off, though, I thought Freddie had another solid start here. I don't expect we'll see him in Saturday's matchup against Columbus. It should be Antti Raanta to get him in because I would really like to see Frederik Andersen get to play against his former team in the Toronto Maple Leafs. That game, of course, being on Monday, but let's take a look at the first period, which ended up 0-0. Shots were 10-5 for the Canes after one, and obviously the biggest talking point coming out of that period was the waved-off goal due to goaltender interference. I think there's arguments to be made on both sides for this one. You could say Gallagher interfered a little bit. You could also say that he didn't really interfere at all. I don't really know where I fall on this one because my initial instinct anytime I hear a goaltender interference penalty, or sorry, not penalty, but a waved off goal due to goaltender interference, is that we've seen some really ridiculous ones be allowed as goals. Like Ryan Kessler laying on top of, I think it was Cam Talbot with the Oilers like 4 or 5 years ago now. And then we've seen kind of these ones where it's very minimal, but it's still waved off. My issue with it is that it doesn't seem like the league or the referees or anybody has clearly defined what goaltender interference is still, and it's been about 5 years. I don't really, anytime there's one of these challenges on the ice where they're reviewing for goaltender interference, I don't really, I can't, I just, no, I know that whatever call is made, it's probably going to be borderline the right call. So with that, let's get into the second period, and the Canes came out firing in the second period. The two goals of the period, of course, from the Canes. The first one, a very nice pass from Teuvo Teravainen on the half boards, goes through the middle of the ice. Trocheck actually makes a smart play, lifts his stick up, lets that pass go through. Aho over there snipes, and it's 1-0 Carolina. And a short time later, another kind of nice passing play. Martin Necas at the opposite side point finds Svechnikov on his offside down low, and he kind of just walks in all the time in the world. And I'm not really sure why Jake Allen played this the way he did. I don't think he played it, poorly. He dropped his shoulder very aggressively and just kind of kept moving out and out and out to Svechnikov. And Svechnikov is one of the best shooters in hockey. He's easily going to find it under the bar. 2-0 Canes. Toward the end of the period, I believe it was Tyler Toffoli in front, kind of covered by nobody. I think it was also on the power play for the Montreal Canadiens. I think at this point, the Carolina had taken about 5 penalties in the game, or 5 or 6. Law of averages and all that, at a certain point, you're going to let one in. And unfortunately, on this play, just Tyler Toffoli standing in front of the net with nobody near him, and finds a way to get it through Anderson's 5-hole, and we have a 2-1 hockey game heading into the third period. To start the third period, I thought Frederik Andersen was really good. A game that could have really gone either way at that point, even though you're looking at a team in Montreal who is just having a really bad time scoring, getting offense generated. It could still go either way. It's a 2-1 hockey game, and Andersen was very good to start the third, made a couple of key saves on Alexander Romanov as well. I want to talk about Jacob Slavin because I don't believe he gets talked enough about. He's one of the best defenders in the league. On Nick Suzuki, and I can't remember who else. It might have been Mike Hoffman trying to enter the Carolina zone, but 2 perfect zone entry denials with his stick, and man, can he poke check that puck with power. Midway through the third, that first line of Aho, Necas, Kokiniemi out, play around. It looked like Aho was really trying to get it to Kokiniemi in front, had to kind of change it up. Finds a nice backhand pass off the boards back to Brady Shea. And as I was watching this game with my girlfriend, who's a Habs fan, next to me, I was thinking to myself and out loud, oh man, Kotkaniemi's going to tip this, isn't he? Brady Shea from the point, a slap shot, gets it through. Kotkaniemi, a perfect deflection down on the backhand of the stick, perfectly through the 5-hole of Jake Allen, and it's a 3-1 Carolina lead. And again, Frederik Andersen after this just shut the door. He made some crazy saves. Montreal really did put on the pressure towards the end of this game, but it wouldn't be good enough to get it past Frederik Andersen. Not only was he making these mad scramble saves, but he's making saves on Jonathan Drouin on the breakaway, who's always dangerous when he comes down on a breakaway. In the last minutes of the game, Sebastian Aho gets a puck in the neutral zone, fires it through, empty netter, 4-1 Canes lead, and that's how this one would end. So the Canes improved to 3-0-0 on the season. As I mentioned earlier in this video, we're not going to do any player highlighting or anything like that because I didn't see enough of this game. So instead, we'll do a preview about the Columbus Blue Jackets, who we are playing on Saturday night. It'll be the first matchup between the two teams since easily last year, but it's probably been a while since. I think obviously Columbus had a very tough year last year. Seth Jones traded away. Lots of changes for that team this year, but one aspect that I am keeping an eye on is Patrik Laine. He has been red hot to start this year. I think he's already got 2 overtime game winners. And this guy, no matter where he shoots from, no matter if he's taking a slap shot, a snapshot, or a wrist shot, this puck can always find its way in. He is one of the premier shooters in hockey. Even though he had his struggles in Winnipeg and Columbus coming over last year, man, is he ever just... There's so much... The ceiling for this guy just keeps going up and up and up. He could be one of the best goal scorers of our generation. Always a scary thing to think about going into a game against the Blue Jackets now, but that's what we got to do in the Metropolitan Division. I haven't read anything that would state that it is happening or anything, but my expectation, I should say, heading into this game is Antti Raanta will get his first start as a member of the Carolina Hurricanes. That obviously could change, but I really want Raanta to get in because we have yet to see Raanta this season, and I think Frederik Andersen should really get that game in Toronto. So that wraps up this episode of Canes Game Review for this one against the Montreal Canadiens. We'll be back very soon with the Carolina-Columbus game number 4 of the season matchup. If you like the video, as always, give it a thumbs up down below. Click that subscribe button and the notification bell if you like content like this and want more of it and to see it as soon as it uploads. And as always, everyone, I will catch you guys on the next one.